Welcome to Bloom in Full Color, where we live life in high definition. I've got Melissa Pease with me today.
Hello.
All right. So Melissa and I are good friends. I'm Jennifer Moss. I always forget to tell you guys that. I figure at this point, you probably know who I am. But,
should know.
If you don't now, you will soon. Anyhow. All right. So Melissa and I go way back from the advertising world and marketing to now she is the fire behind my website with her profit business. But we have kind of stumbled upon with your nonprofit that you've started, Project Succeed, a huge need. And you came up with a killer idea, and we're going to just kick it off. So we work with a ton of teachers and school districts, and especially during flower season, because people, gardening is kind of a really good way to connect children to the real world.
Absolutely.
And teachers love flowers, which helps out tremendously. My grandmother and now my mother are involved in PEO. All my old teachers come in. Like, it's a thing, right? And I happened to be stumbling through the greenhouse, stumbling as I was tripping over floor and hoses. Yeah, it was not my graceful moment, but that's not unusual for me. And I started to bounce this idea of Battle of the Nurseries that we're going to talk about today off of two teachers that I was in their classrooms.
Wow.
And I said, do you guys have a hard time getting school supplies? And how I said it was, how much do you think out of pocket does a teacher purchase? And both of them just looked at me like, a lot. And you just make it work because you have to, because you need the stuff. Yeah. And then they told me a story about a new teacher that had just started, and how they put it is, you get a room and a flag.
Wow.
You might not even get textbooks because they might have been pillaged after the last teacher left or retired or moved on. And so, and you've heard stories where they don't even have tables and chairs. And, I understand things break and, there's always a need.
Yep.
But my gosh, when I go to get school supplies, and I'm a parent team of 3, we're split household, but that's not a small bill either for just your individual children, let alone an entire classroom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, and hence is why Project Succeed initially started. And honestly, we're the newest kid on the block. We are the newest nonprofit. We started in December of 2022. And really, I kept hearing stories after stories about teachers and how much they spend in a year on their own supplies, and ballpark it's anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500.
They don't make enough money for that.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it's tight as it is, but I think our teachers, and you've heard it before, especially during the pandemic, are unsung heroes, and they need the help. And Project Succeed hopes to bring light to what they're experiencing on a regular basis, period. And if we can get much needed supplies into their hands, I think is just an added bonus. And we were talking earlier, what I find really interesting, and yes, school supplies
Absolutely.
are ridiculously expensive. Since we started, we have assisted with about 3,000 students. We were live the first 2 months of 2023. And in that time, we supplied about $8,000 worth of supplies.
That's awesome.
The average teacher, here's what blows my mind, knowing the situation. The average teacher is asking us for anywhere from $100 to $200 worth of supplies. Okay, for their classroom.
How much do you think they spend a year?
My understanding from what I've heard from the teachers I visited with before we started Project Succeed is about $1,000 to $1,500 a year.
And that money could go to their house payment, their child care, their own groceries, their utilities, but they're spending it on their students because they know that they need them for the classroom.
Yep. And there's many teachers that are what they consider homeless, where they are living in somebody's house or on a couch, not truly homeless, as most of us would consider, because they cannot afford to teach and live in the Magic Valley. Well, and I had heard that story, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like we should give them all the money.
They should have free housing. Yeah.
Or that, but let's do one
Yeah.
step at a time.
I was putting my Bernie on there for a second. Sorry, guys. Giving everything away for free.
But no, absolutely. And so when you think about that, where you've got the teachers asking for pencils.
Oh, and quality pencils. That was
Quality
the story
pencils.
I was told. They get those cheap pencils, and it's like plastic. And so the teachers are like, yeah, it's cool. The parents save money. That's great. They can't use any of it because they won't go through the pencil sharpeners.
Yep.
They, things like that I would never thought of.
No. And it's, we, on our website, we have a form where the teachers can go and fill out. And for the most part, it's the supplies that most teachers need. So whether it's the pencils or the erasable markers, I can't even tell you every teacher asks for these, or the erasers that go with them.
Oh, or you want to know our secret? Magic erasers. With the Arm and Hammer man.
Yeah.
The bald dude. Dude, those work like fire on our boards because we don't actually, we're kind of cheap here at the greenhouse because we got to save money and grow all these flowers for you. We actually take particle board, put some laminate on it, stick it to a wall, and that's our expo board.
Well, you know what I found very interesting, and I do not have any kids, so creating this nonprofit has been very eye-opening for me. But a lot of teachers have asked for the whiteboards. Back in school where you had the big whiteboards that the teachers would write on.
I remember the chalkboard, and she'd just be covered in chalk when you were done.
That might have been dating. Let's not date us that far back.
It's my 20th high school reunion this year, actually.
There you go. So they're asking for miniaturized whiteboards, and I had asked them. One of the teachers had asked for like 30 of them, and I said, "Okay, what am I missing?" I said, "Why do you need 30 of them?" And she clearly explained that when they have, something they're discussing.
I'm seeing like a math problem or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They literally have them all write it on, show their math, answer.
Show their work.
Wipe it off. And
Start over.
I looked at her and I said, what about paper? She's paper's too expensive. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And she goes, no. So we've had a number of teachers ask for those. I've actually brought a number of supplies into a classroom for a teacher, and other teachers are like, oh, we can order those through you? I'm all, yes. So
this comes down to awareness. And
it really is.
And getting the money raised or the school supplies raised so that you can help these teachers.
And that's why we wanted to do the Battle of the Nurseries. And first of all, thank you to individuals like yourself at Moss Greenhouse. Webb is also participating, as well as Windsor's and Kimberly.
And it's Webb Twin Falls location, because there's a couple.
Oh, yes, thank you.
There's a couple.
It is the Twin Falls location. And this is our first fundraiser, so I'm super excited and pumped. But I also, too, this brings awareness.
Absolutely.
And without your involvement, all three of your involvements, this is going to help us get the word out.
Well, and the coolest part about how you structured this is, so if you come to Moss Greenhouses and bring school supplies, so the way it works is from May 26th to June 9th, you come in and you bring these supplies. We're going to have a box actually up in retail, and all the supplies that we generate at Moss will go to Jerome School District.
Correct.
Everything that's generated at Webb will go to Twin Falls School District.
Correct.
Everything that goes to Windsor's will go to Kimberly School District.
Yes.
So we're helping locally.
Local
footprint.
Where you make the most impact, those supplies will stay there as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. One thing, because you can't have a battle of anything without some sort of reward. And I don't know if I shared this with you.
No, I vaguely remember this, but I remember the number.
Yes.
I don't remember the number.
So we had a local business step up and offer whichever nursery brings in the most amount of supplies, they will donate $5,000 to Project Succeed in name of the nursery that provided those supplies. So
tax benefits. We're not dummies. We're business owners.
Yes, we are business owners.
You've got to make it work for everybody.
So that's super exciting that they did that as well. But we're excited to start this off. And we also have let me just show everyone
shoot it out.
Got the little flyer here. We've already started putting them outside of everywhere. If you come across one of these, we do have a QR code. It'll take you directly to our website.
Well, and if I'm a teacher, I go to that website.
Yep.
And I can apply for a grant.
So
is that how it works? Help me.
That is one. So we also have a page that teachers can apply for certain grants here in Idaho.
Okay.
But as far as our services go, they can simply log on and fill out the form, and we will give them the supplies. We do have it currently closed because there's no school.
Yeah, I was like, last day of school for my kids is Tuesday.
Yeah. So when school season opens back up, the application will be back up.
And then you'll have a stash of supplies after we rack
100%. Yeah. And our goal for right now is not only this fundraiser, but to apply for a number of grants so we can stock up. So when the school starts, that we have the supplies to provide to them. But back to the QR code, they're able to go onto our Amazon wish list.
Oh, awesome.
If you see this, you're like, oh, I didn't bring in my supplies, please just feel free to use your phone, and you can order supplies on your Amazon account and they get directly shipped to us.
Oh, that's cool. That save you a whole step.
Yeah, that's just a quick couple buttons and you can make magic happen.
I can do that before I leave.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Melissa and I partner in a couple of things. There's an astronomical need for school supplies for these teachers in the classroom.
Yeah.
Let's help make it happen.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing us to do this.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
I'll battle with my friends across the water. I have zero problem with that. Jenny, Jamie, and I, we're the 3 J's.
I'm very interested in seeing how this ends.
Yes. Well, we all, between the 3 of us, we all have a pretty big network.
You do.
And so, Jenny's got quite a bit of power between several web locations. Windsor's has got a very, very loyal following. Holy bejeebies. Yeah. I'm one of their loyal followers as well because she's got certain plants I don't grow and I really like. So I always get caught when I'm there too. They're like, you're from us. I'm like, I don't grow these and I want them. So stay in your lane. It always happens to be at Costco in the fall with mums too. I'm like, is it tattooed on my forehead? Jesus.
It's all the podcasts.
Maybe.
Yes.
My marketing is good.
Yes.
And then, our team over here at Moss, I mean, we've infiltrated the Magic Valley for over 70 years. So by God, you might have a few people. I'm going to call in some favors. Don't you worry.
Well,
I got some partners.
And I think too, also on top of this, if you are a teacher, if you know a teacher, we barely scratched the surface when we first went live. There is many, many teachers that do not know we exist. And
tell your friends.
That is what we're here for. Please tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Project Succeed. Look for us about the time school starts. There's a page that is directed just to you, and feel free to submit and we'll get those orders filled.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah, no problem. And with that, I invite everybody to go live life in full color because plain is pretty boring and some little kids might need some markers.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.